And as things have gotten worse, drag queen story hours are probably something that I never really could have predicted, especially becoming more and more mainstream, quote unquote, normal in our schools. We were told that drag queen story hours were a part of this tolerance and acceptance thing that we were trying to teach kids, even though I will never understand why we need drag queens in schools to teach our kids about tolerance and acceptance. If this is what you need to teach your kids about tolerance and acceptance, then you are just a crappy parent, and you're a crappy teacher as well. But it went from that, the drag queens would come in and they'd read the stories, and people kept saying, well, they're not doing anything. It's not harmful. They're just coming in and reading these kids' books, and it's pretty much just like having like any other kind of child's entertainer come in and read a book, and and it's totally fine. What could possibly go wrong? But here we are, not even a couple of years later, and now there are drag events everywhere, and there's parades with naked adults, and parents are taking their kids to bars with explicit messages written on the walls and explicit messages in the songs that are being played. They'll take their 4-year-old to a brunch in the middle of the day on a Sunday morning and have their daughter watch a grown man with tassels over top of their fake breasts and encourage her to stuff cash into their cleavage. And these parents, nobody's even blinking about it. They're not even thinking twice. But you know what else is interesting that I've noticed, and you may or may not have noticed? The people who use tolerance and acceptance to get you to accept sexually explicit materials from comprehensive sexuality education and everything leading up to drag queen story hour and now bars and raunchy dances, they don't even have to use the words tolerance and acceptance anymore. They don't even have to give you a reason as to why these events should be happening or make up any kind of potential social justice cause to benefit you or to benefit society. You'll just do it for no reason at all. And I bet you don't even know why you're doing it anymore. You have absolutely no idea. You're so far beyond this slippery slope, you don't even know how you got here and how you yourself came to accept this as normal. And I just have to ask, did you used to believe in boundaries for children? Did you used to think it was important to have content warnings, warning labels on things so you knew to shield your innocent child from it? What changed? How come it was so easy to convince you that children's innocence no longer matters, that there's no harm in exposing them to anything and everything that adults can be exposed to, that the world's standards of what kids should and shouldn't see now determine how you parent? When did you decide that adults should be able to enter your child's personal space and that they shouldn't expect you as their parent to shield them from potential harm? I ask these questions because I really do wonder how we got here. Because there's always been child predators. We know there's always been child predators. There have always been people who would love to get into the personal space of children and not have to deal with the consequences of it or worry about being deterred by a parent. I just can't fathom how we got to a place where now parents are not only not deterring this behavior, but they're actually walking their kids right up to it and handing them over. Because I can tell you right now, there is no political party, no messaging, no trends, no branding, no amount of using the words love, tolerance, or acceptance in the world that could convince me to not protect my children. There is nothing that could be said or done for me to ignore the harm to their development that comes from being exposed to explicit and graphic material at a young age. There is nothing you could tell me that would persuade me to let my guard down when it comes to my kids. More than anything, I want my kids to grow up to be kind, loving, compassionate human beings who serve and who uplift and do not discriminate for any reason. And the way that I do that is to carefully build their character based on truth, based on positivity, based on things that are clean and uplifting to them, by teaching them self-respect, teaching them respect to others, and teaching them that there is always a difference between right and wrong. Blurring those lines, or not having any lines at all, leads to confused teenagers and young adults who crave boundaries and structure, but have no idea how to establish those things because they've never been taught how to establish those things, or that those things even matter. They have no idea how to set boundaries in relationships, to set physical boundaries or mental boundaries or psychological boundaries for themselves, or to build up their individual worth, or to see the worth in others. Boundaries have always been important to raising strong, well-rounded, confident adults. And what's happening now, what so many people have been influenced to believe is okay, will have not only the opposite effect, it will be devastating. And who do you think your child that you took as a 4, 5, 6, 7, 8-year-old to a show with a grown man with tassels on his breasts, that you had stuff dollar bills into their underwear, who are they going to look to when they wonder why they have no idea how to respect others, how to establish their own boundaries, how to expect respect from others? They're going to come to you as their parent, the person that was supposed to teach them those things. Leave a comment below. Let me know what you think. Please like and